Welcome.
Welcome back to Body
We took
Hotties.
a break and now we're like so much energy.
I know we should do this more often. Welcome back. We are doing round two of friendship and social skills and all the fun things.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Audie Hotties. Yeah, welcome to the Audie Hottie podcast. Here we are.
All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is McKenna,
And I'm Bree.
and we're your hosts of Body Hotties. As we started saying in the last episode.
You say whatever you want. It's your intro.
It's so true. It's so true. Any like updates or anything you're looking forward to this fall?
Ooh, for the fall. Well, I am going to Cancun.
That's right.
Yeah, there's only 50 something days left. We're doing all inclusive, adults only.
No
Yeah.
kids allowed.
Beaches. Yeah.
So fun.
So
And it's
fun.
Cancun, so
Cancun, yeah. I've never been to Mexico, so super excited for this. I've never done a resort.
I was gonna ask if you'd done like tropical or anything like that.
The only one I've done was I had a friend who lived and worked in St. Croix for a while, and so I went to the Virgin
cool.
Islands. And
That's
I got to go to the national park there. That's the underwater national park. So cool. Got to snorkel with sharks and
Yeah.
turtles, and
Wow.
yeah, it was super cool.
I don't think
Barracuda.
I'll ever go, but it's fun to hear about it.
Why not?
I am terrified of snorkeling, like
Oh, really?
of fish in particular.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really weird. I had my first panic attack snorkeling.
oh man. Oh yeah.
It was back at Disney World. Anyway,
At Disney World. What were you doing
Yeah.
snorkeling at Disney World?
they they have a water park where you can like I mean, you're in a swimsuit anyway, and then you like put on a life jacket, get a little snorkel cap, and then you like snorkel in a little pond, like a little pool, not a
Oh,
pond.
okay.
It's like one of the attractions at the water park.
Huh.
And my heart started racing and I couldn't breathe and had to exit the water and be like, wow, what did I just experience? And then years later, when I was having consistent anxiety, I was like, oh,
Oh, same
I
feeling.
had this a couple years ago.
Okay. Just so funny.
Anyway,
I'm the total opposite.
are you really?
I'm the Little Mermaid, but
That's
I
great.
like dive with my mask on. I would love to learn to dive. I've never lived anywhere where I really could. I mean, I know you can pursue it anywhere
Like
technically.
deep diving?
Yeah, I want to like dive. Maybe not like super deep, not like going down in a trench or something, but
Oh
like
my God.
but I want to like
Makes
dive
my
and
heart
like see
flutter.
yeah, like bottom, like more bottom stuff. Yeah. I have some friends who do it and I'm really interested, but
You should do it.
yeah, I want to.
Wow. Yeah, like deep diving off of boats.
Hmm.
I don't know. That was a really stupid sentence.
We obviously have not done anything in the ocean. Yeah, I would love to do more water related sports. So
Can you do that like in lakes around the area? Like
Mhm.
Crater Lake, for example, could you deep dive there?
I'm sure I don't know about Crater Lake specifically, but I know a lot of lakes people do. Even in Alaska, people will take like gear up to some of the deep alpine
Yeah.
lakes and dive there and like wear full dry suits and stuff.
So interesting. That could be a fun little era for you.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a pretty expensive hobby, I think. So
Is it?
yeah,
Like the gear and
training.
So would you want to be scuba certified or just snorkeling, deep diving, holding your breath?
I think scuba would be cool to
Yeah.
learn. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would love it as much because you're not as like free as far as like you have like the tank and fins and all that stuff going on. So I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know anything about it.
I don't know anything.
All I know is that your ears, with the pressure change, you can get really sick.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you have to be very careful coming back up.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
that's all I
I'd love
know.
to do that someday. But
Very
I
cool.
love snorkeling. It's so fun.
Are you gonna snorkel in Cancun?
I'm gonna try to, yeah, if the
Cool.
sargassum's not too bad, the seaweed.
The
But
what?
sargassum. It's like a specific type of seaweed that
Oh,
the beaches get really bad. They have to go out every morning and like rake it in. So that the
Oh.
beach looks nice. And some areas of the beach like get too much to even control.
really?
So yeah, a lot of times people will go to resorts and be like, we couldn't even go on the beach because the water was just full of seaweed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like a tour that you could do though, like takes you out
Mhm.
past the seaweed, maybe.
Yeah, well, we picked a place that specifically said that they have really good beaches.
Good.
That was one of my like requirements was trying
Yeah.
to find somewhere that was swimmable.
I will be on a beach all week.
Probably be drunk all week. We're very
Is it all
specifically-
inclusive?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been reading all the tricks and hacks, like people saying you should
Love.
bring like your own like insulated drink thing so
Yeah.
that your drink doesn't get hot. And bring your floaties.
I did that. Yeah, I brought that to Mexico
Nice.
when I went a few years ago, but I ended up having to leave the floaty because there wasn't enough room in my luggage on the way back. I was so sad. It was like this unicorn fun floaty that I had bought specifically for Mexico, but was like excited to use the rest of the summer because we went in May
Mm.
and I had to leave it.
Oh, did you
But
bring
I
back too many like souvenirs or something? What happened?
fucking know.
You got it there.
I don't remember. I know, and now I'm like, I could have just brought it in a bag like on my way back. I don't know what
Oh yeah.
happened, but hopefully like the resort and kids at the resort enjoyed it because
Yeah,
I
I'm sure they
feel like that's what I remember as a housekeeper, that's kind of what we do is we kind of collect like things that people had left behind and like then it would be kind of like part of a lost and found, but like if people wanted to use those things like hats or I don't know, other things.
Yeah, I didn't know you did housekeeping. Oh wait, yes, Disney, right? I
Yeah,
forgot
that's
about
why
that.
I was in Disney World was I was a housekeeper for the Disney College program
Yeah.
at the Boardwalk Hotel. I used to be a big Disney gal.
Oh. Yeah, this is a side tangent, but my mom used to work for a rental car company, and they
Okay.
kind of had the same thing where people would leave stuff behind, and it would be like in a pool for a long time waiting for somebody to pick it
Yeah.
up, and then if they didn't, then like the staff got to like take it home.
Yep.
Get like
Exactly.
most random things.
Yeah.
Lots of sunglasses.
I'm
Lots of
sure
curling
lots of
cords.
sunglasses. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I love it. Yeah. Random like things that people get to do because of the jobs they have.
Yeah.
But
Anything in the fall that you're looking forward to? More hiking. We've already talked about that last
yeah, I'm gonna hike everywhere.
everywhere.
The Maple Leaf Trail is like huge on my list right now in Forest Park.
Oh, okay, I haven't heard that one.
Well, let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
I love Forest Park.
Perfect. I've only been a couple of times and never been for hiking. So. What am I looking forward to this fall? I am looking forward to being a little bit more on a routine, just especially from summer. I feel like even though it was like so much fun and I completely let loose and like was super regulated, I think that there's a part of me that is craving the routine back of daily life and working again. I think it's going to be kind of a challenging fall, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to try and like bulk up with like friend things, having really tight work boundaries so that like I'm like not super overwhelmed outside of work and get to still enjoy my life. So
That's good.
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Anything particular that think's gonna be difficult, like work itself, or like just emotionally, or like
Always emotionally. No. Work's going to be tough. I knew that it was going to be for several ways. One, it being public education. Two, me being compensated through Medicaid and Medicaid billing. Like I know that's why I have a job at the school district. So, like a couple of what is the word? Like just national political worries for sure of like how are our kids going to be seen, how's our program going to continue, that sort of thing, where I don't really feel like I need to put a lot of my energy into that because there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
But also our program expanded this year, so it went from 2 classrooms settings to 3.
Oh.
And the growth has been full of miscommunication and very blurred expectations. And I still don't have like my own office. So I still have like, I basically have satellite desks at every location, which is just hard settling wise. And new teachers that I need to like catch the vibe on, full class of new students that I need to catch the vibe on. And
Oh yeah.
so I just am anticipating like a hard fall, not to mention that I don't know if I did my licensure correctly. So I'm gonna find out this week, like what the plan is. And like I had a huge panic about it on Friday, which was hard. But at the end of that, I just realized like, well, I'm gonna surrender. And if I lose my job, there's like a lot of other things I could do. And like I'm gonna be okay. It's just And I actually don't really want to even work in the schools anymore. Like I don't. So I feel like it's
It would just
giving,
be like,
yeah.
yeah. I kind of felt like that when we were waiting for my like next offer letter. Like, I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
it would benefit me to stay at this job, and like I do really appreciate a lot of things about this job, but also if it's a change
Yeah.
that's a forced change, it's gonna be okay. Like,
Right.
I'm not
Exactly.
horribly mad about it.
That's kind of how I feel too. And um like I feel more and more confident about opening up private practice. I
Mm.
thought that I would need like a year to kind of do that, but if I need to like up that timeline, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's personally what's going on this fall. But my birthday is this fall and I love my birthday, so that's
You're looking
happening.
forward to your
I
birthday.
am looking forward to my birthday and I think I'm going to do a trip,
Oh,
which is
fun.
exciting. We found really cheap round trips to Ireland. If you want to come with Lauren. I'm recruiting
I can give
everyone.
you tips on where to go and
Please
stuff.
do.
Yeah.
That's right. You went with your mom last summer. That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah. Well, I found, speaking of hiking, I found it starts with a K. It's not Killarney. There's like, so backing up, I really want to do the Camino
Mhm.
Santiago, but the Portugal way, like
Okay.
the coastal way. It's been on my radar for the last year or so, even
Mm.
before I fell in love with hiking. And there's a big part of me that wants to do it for my birthday,
Yeah.
even though I don't know what the weather's going to be in December because
Mm.
my birthday's December 1st. So, but there's a part of me that's like, fuck it. I've never let weather like stop me from doing anything. So it just might not be
I tell people
enjoyable.
it can't be that bad,
That's what
right?
I kind of
Like
think. And it's the coast of Portugal too. So it might actually just be really
temperate, maybe. Like
temperate and secluded. Sounds like my autistic dream, honest. Um,
but you found something in Ireland?
I did. I found the Celtic Camino or the Killarney Camino. I
Oh,
don't know what it
interesting.
is, but it's hiking the Dingle Peninsula.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I don't end up doing the Portugal, I can always do it in Ireland. And
Nice.
yeah, so
That's so funny. My mom is doing a sabbatical from work and she's going to Scotland and England, but she's going to
mm.
Scotland specifically to hike the West Highland Way,
Oh,
which is like a 90-mile trail or something like that.
wow.
It's just by herself.
That's
Like
amazing.
amazed and also like, careful, mom.
Yeah. Let me give you an air tag so you have
Yeah.
your location
I
at
know
all
where you are.
times.
Yeah.
Oh my
She's meeting up with somebody
God.
there that she met on the AT who's around her age. He lives in England. So she's at least
You.
meeting up with someone that she knows for part of it, but he's not
Yeah.
hiking with her.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So
That's amazing.
yeah, she's taking like 6 months or so off from work and like doing
Cool.
a month and a half there and then like coming back home and doing some stuff at home and then doing more trips and like yeah, props.
See, if I become unemployed next week, they won't be that bad.
Anyways,
Jesus Christ. Moving on.
okay, anyway, so many things to catch up.
Yeah. Part of me was like, because I prepped this episode this morning, and part of me was like, gosh, should we just have an episode where we just like chit chat the whole time? Because we could fill an hour.
We could fill an hour, easy
We
peasy.
could definitely fill an hour. So last episode we talked a lot about like making friends, but I kind of turned into just like the nature of friendship for both of us as ADHD people. I loved it. It was something that hadn't thought about in a long time in terms I was telling Bree like even when I was diagnosed with ADHD, I had spoken to the psychologist and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty successful in like my friendships, social groups, whatever. And he was like, really interesting that you look at it as a measure and that you've become successful in it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not really typical. So,
Did you not think about that?
yeah, wait, what? Wait, what? So, yeah, loved it. And so this episode, I kind of thought that we would just continue the conversation and also look at it from a lens of like, there's such a stigma around, autistic people are either lonely or they don't have social skills and don't have friends. All these sort of things that like maybe are true, maybe are half true, maybe aren't true for some people. I think that as like someone who directly works with students' social skills, that we could kind of talk about like what intervention could look like,
Mm.
what it has historically looked like, but I'm not going to get too into it. And then maybe like if you want to improve your social skills, what I do with students.
Yeah,
So
that's really interesting because I think that a lot of ADHD people can relate with like being the introverted extrovert where you
100%.
yeah, where you like really enjoy socializing, but you also need a lot of recharge time. It's like
Yeah.
you don't really quite fit into either category. And you
Yes.
kind of get boxed into that. Like, yeah, like you're
100%.
an introvert, you like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're more quiet because you don't understand how to interject in the conversation or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So you get boxed into that, like, oh, you don't have a lot of friends, you don't
Yeah.
whatever. But we do. We do. Most people, not everyone, but a lot of people enjoy socializing still.
Yeah, and I think that the caveat or the secret or however you want to say it is to let people socialize how they would like to and within their comfort levels and within their autonomy. Like, how dare am I supposed to say how you're supposed to be friends with
Yeah,
someone?
exactly.
Or like what that friendship is supposed to look like.
Mhm.
Human connection can look different in so many ways, and that should be honored. And I think that historically it hasn't been.
Yeah.
And I think that that's been a huge part of being a speech therapist is learning that pragmatics is part of our intervention that we're trained to do in grad school. So we're trained on 9 different things as speech language pathologists. So
Wait, can we pause? Can you
sure,
define pragmatics?
pragmatics is like social skills.
Okay, just an overarch.
Just,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
overarching social skills. I don't know why I say pragmatics because it's just so fancy. But so, like, the 9 is speech, language, fluency. This is really testing me. Cognition, swallowing, pragmatics, alternative communication, which is like AAC devices, hearing loss. I don't know the 9th one. It's probably going to be fairly obvious when I come to it. But pragmatics is social language. So it's like how I actually have a definition right here. It's social skills used in verbal and nonverbal communication during daily interactions, essentially knowing what to say, how to say it, and when to say it in social interactions. Interactions. So, yeah, people will look at social skills in autistic folks as deficits and them lacking the like societal expected social skills, like eye contact, like intonation, so different like stresses in your sentence of speech. Because a lot of autistic people will talk with like a flat affect, which would be saying stuff like this, where you're not really like making any words special, any words have any extra emphasis on it. Does that
I
make
like
sense?
deadpan.
Yeah. Um, social cues, like we talked about in the last episode, not being really like able to read those. So historically, a lot of like speech intervention with pragmatics is like learning skills to how to be a friend, learning skills to have conversations. Balanced conversations is huge, especially with like I would say autistic folks that have like hyperfixations where they'll just like take over a conversation. And I love that. What that the best. Like an example for me, I guess, would be like if a student came in and they were talking about how they were like hyperfixated on a game that they love playing at home, a video game that they were playing at home. So traditionally, and in grad school, you're kind of taught to like show them the balance of conversation and how they should be interested in my interests as interested in I am in their interests. And like one of the phrases used is that like including me in their world is like a big push. Whereas like neurodiversity affirming therapy, which I value a lot more, is like, oh my gosh, well, tell me more about this. And like I'm going to sit here and listen to you and model like what a good listener looks like. And then I'm going to ask follow-up questions to your special interest and then build that rapport. And then when we have conversations like down the road, we can use this like content and I can show you how to have these conversations. But it's more about like if you want to have those conversations. So I think that I look at, do you even want to know how to navigate these conversations? Like, why do you want to navigate these conversations like this? What's your purpose? What's your intention? Do you feel like you need to do it in a certain way? And I do work with older students, so I have that privilege of being able to have a lot of like student autonomy in that.
Mm.
But that was a really long-winded answer for whatever the question was.
I don't think it was a question. I think you were there was no question.
So the balance here is off. No, people will literally like have balancing tools and like visuals in their office to show that like someone is talking too much.
Huh.
I hate it.
That's really dumb because neurotypicals talk over people all the time and
What?
don't seem to give a shit about taking over the
I
conversation.
know, it's such bullshit.
No, I know.
It's patriarchal. It's a way to keep people monitored and in societal expectations and like, you know, not threaten anything. God forbid we have interests.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about today.
We've already talked about it. That was my whole spiel.
That was the whole spiel.
So one of the things that I do like really understand with pragmatic language and intervening is the concept of like if someone wants to improve relationships in their life, like they should have access to that information and like opportunities to try and practice. So I'm happy to be that person, that speech therapist.
And that's really interesting because like I feel like all those things are things that I feel I have like learned through observation and through like trial and error and practice and taken years to figure out. But I have never heard anybody talk about the balance of a conversation and how do I balance it. And that's kind of something I wish I had like been taught. So I would have to figure it out. Yeah.
Well, I can bring a little like leveler in.
Too late. No, I'm just kidding.
Just a little too late. Yeah, no, it is interesting because I feel like I had so much anger learning about all of the interventions that go along with social stuff because I just feel like historical models really do threaten autonomy. And that's what makes me really angry, where it's like, you should be this person, you should socialize in this way, your friendship should look like this. You should talk about these things with friends.
I think there's two things to that for me.
Yeah.
The first would be, are we showing up as ourselves to start with? Because later in life you realize like, yeah, there are scenarios where you need to protect yourself. Like you were talking about in the last episode, that it's protective. Like we may need to mask.
Yeah.
And, like, do we need to learn these skills
Yep.
in order to mask? In which case it should be framed as that of like, do you want to learn this in
Correct.
order to protect yourself? But understand where it's coming from, that this is happening intentionally. And like the second part of that is like, if you're making a friendship, if you're trying to engage with other people, but you're showing up that level of masks and like creating this faux balance and not being yourself in your train of thought or whatever, like is that friendship even gonna last or be worth the making?
Yeah,
like,
or is genuine.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like I think more than anything, like teaching the tool but also the intent behind the tool and having the autonomy to choose, am I using this tool for a good reason,
right,
or is my goal actually to make honest friends in this scenario and like be myself?
No, those are really like great questions and statements, and it's just how are you genuine if you're showing up as someone like performing all of this? And I think that that's been like a theme of our podcast throughout the whole thing is like, as ADHD people, we have taken in a lot of information and have processed in it, and we're not like performing it in a way, but like what is outpouring is what we have taken in. So it's like, where am I? Like, where is the authenticity in that? And I think that is like through the processing. I really do. And the delivery, of course. But like, I think that there's a difference between that and like seeing like a friendship performed or seeing a movie about friendship, whatever, taking all that information, performing it. I think that that's very different from me saying, oh, you have deficits in social skills. Let's teach you how to have a conversation because you need to do that in order to like function in your classroom and in society. And I just don't think it's that serious. Like,
Yeah.
I think that people can understand that autistic people communicate differently, and neurotypical people can do a lot of work in that.
Expect more of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and like learn more about how autistic people communicate. You don't need to expect eye contact. You can expect a hyperfixated interest content of a conversation, and you can also say, hey, I have like 2 minutes, but I would love to hear like 2 minutes, and like have boundaries and like just be real. I don't know, I'm really passionate.
Expect more of the nerd.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that I wanted to say though is like, yes, if people have autonomy and want to learn social skills, I will totally do that. And at the same time, pragmatics affects safety so much. And I learned so much about that last year in terms of like stranger danger, in terms of like when you are hurt, like you need to communicate these parts, this thing, and you're okay with communicating with like these people but not these other people,
like what we talked about with the little blue cards for police stops. Like
exactly,
the pragmatics matters because you could be presenting as if you were a threat of
exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the curriculums I do is circles curriculum. And I want to talk through it because I think I mentioned it in one of our earlier podcasts, and I've actually learned a lot personally from them, but I thought we would just kind of go through it. It would probably take about, I don't know, 10 minutes to do that.
Cool.
But before that, do you have any like questions or comments?
I don't think on this stage. I've got one thing from last week's talk that I like wanted to go back to, but we can do that after.
Okay, sounds good. So an intervention is like the circles curriculum. And basically it's this concept where you have these circles of relationships, and it's like a rainbow of circles, which, you know, is my queer agenda. And you start at
Bring the rainbow into everything that we teach.
I do. Are we surprised?
Oh, do you mind our rainbows? Oh, do you mind our rainbows?
Rainbow. But it starts with you as a like you're in the center of all of these tiers of circles, and you're in the center, and it's the purple circle, and it's where you make the decisions about who's in each circle. You get to decide the boundaries, you get to make your own choices, prioritize alone time, prioritize processing things for yourself. And then the next circle out is your blue circle, and that's people that you are closest to outside of yourself. They can be people that you live with, like your family, siblings. They can be a romantic partner, or they can be like a best friend. These are people that you would feel comfortable sharing like your innermost secrets with, or just like everyday life. But like really, there's not a lot of information that you wouldn't share with them. Like
deep level of trust.
Very deep level of trust. So yes, in each circle there is what you talk about, like the content, how much you trust the people in that circle, and then how you touch. We also go into because that can be blurred with certain students. So these are people that you would feel like comfortable hugging or kissing, and it's like full trust. You probably would feel comfortable saying I love you to people in this circle. The next circle out, in contrast, is the green circle. And this would be people that you might consider friends. I try really hard to like not say these people go in this circle, and like really let people decide like what relationships go in each circle. Because, for example, I lived with my parents, they would probably be in my blue circle, but for some other students, they might live with their parents and not feel as close to them, so they might be in a further out circle. Yeah, wanted to say that.
Even different between parents too.
Yeah, totally. Some people might not have two parents, so it's like, I don't know. Some people might not, I don't know.
Well, like for example, like I would put my mom in like the blue circle because we're really close. I can talk to her about a lot of things, but like my dad would have never.
Mhm.
Like my dad would have never, I would have known his internal world. He wouldn't have known my
Yeah.
internal world. We just shared like parallel play.
Sure.
But beyond that, like it wasn't really like a depth of relationship. So he
Right.
probably wouldn't be in my closest circle. Like,
But he would still be in your like a relationship of circles and still be like a valid relationship. Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. So the green circle with your friends are people that you would probably like say, I like you to, not necessarily love. People that you spend a lot of time with, and you have like most trust with them. Probably not as much as people in your blue circle, but you talk about whatever you want to talk about and feel comfortable talking about with them. So sometimes it's so funny because when I teach this, I'll like come up with examples just purely on the spot and just be like, that was a really bad example.
You're trying not to like use your own or anything because you don't want to be like too personal.
Yeah, so we will learn in a couple minutes why this has really impacted my life. But you can talk like I shared my travel story with you, or how was your day? Those kinds of things. So then the next circle out is the yellow circle, and that's going to be people that you feel comfortable like giving handshakes to or high fives, but there's never any hugs. And this is usually the professional circle or acquaintances where there are firm physical boundaries, firm emotional boundaries. These are kind of mid-trust people where you would feel comfortable like talking about work if you're coworkers. You'd feel comfortable like bringing a problem to your boss, but you wouldn't be telling people like where you live. You wouldn't be telling people like secrets, and you wouldn't be having conversations about that. Yeah. So this circle for me is really blurry. And I definitely struggle with like knowing how much to hold back from people because I kind of naively trust everyone with like all information. Like that's my flavor of autism, where I'm just like, I don't get that you're supposed to like protect yourself.
Well, and we have like the oversharing problem where I start out telling something that's appropriate and like slowly merges into things that I'm like, and I've gone too far.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So,
and this is hard to say too. This is a personal anecdote from a couple weeks ago that fits into this. But so it also is cultural.
Yeah.
Because like coming from the South, it's much more expected that you are kind of like, there's not as much awareness of like physical boundaries and physical, I don't know, respecting space. So it's a lot more like you hug and handshake like everyone. You this is what my anecdote was about. But I'm in my volleyball group and we take a picture at the end every time. And so we all like get together in our little group lines, like, take our little picture together. And one week we took the picture together and I looked back at it and I realized I was the only one that had my arm like around someone. And I felt so guilty and embarrassed and like, I don't know, I felt like I like violated someone else's privacy. And like the next week there was a picture where a bunch of people in the back row were like all doing it, and so I was like, okay, it's not that bad. But like I really thought for a second that I had like super fucked up a social expectation.
Sure.
And like I kind of did. Like now I'm more aware of it. But in my like social circles all growing up, that was normal. Like you touch each other. You like
me too.
Yeah.
Like hands around each other.
It's very normal to like just automatically physically touch and not think about that.
Right.
Like, physical boundary.
Right.
So anyway, so that's in that like blur area of like, even though we're in a group together, do we know each other well enough to touch in ways that are not formal?
Totally. Yeah.
And like also coming from the cultural side of like, where did you come from and like what was the expectation where you came from?
Exactly. No, I think that's such a great point. And also like, would you have even thought about it if other people had their arms around each other that first week?
Right.
Like, would you feel as othered? You know what I mean? So that's such a good point. And I think that you're right that there are different cultural, like I would say micro cultural expectations with like touch and even like talking. There's something that crosses my mind too of like East Coast versus West Coast. People are like kind, actually kind on the East Coast, but not nice.
Yeah.
Like to your face, they're kind of a dick, but they would like help you change your tire in the snow. Whereas like people on the West Coast are like nice but not kind, where like they would probably see you on the side of the road and be like, "Oh, good luck," but like not actually help. Um, does
I
that
feel
make
like the
sense?
South is like
And then they
in
probably
that
like, bless
example.
your heart.
No, they would pull up to help you, and then you'd be like, "No, I have help." Like they're on the way, and they'd be like, "No, I'm gonna help you anyways." Of
Oh,
course.
yeah, like assert
And then afterwards leave and be like, "Bless their heart, they had no idea what they were doing."
totally fuckers. I would not do well there. I don't do
So
well here.
that's such a funny example.
It is. But I think that it goes to show that like ties into the autistic experience of trying to like learn how the fuck to be social
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah, and then like the rules change.
The rules change all the fucking time. All the time. Mixed with there's different expectations of each different things that are constantly changing. And I think that something that I really just hold very passionately is like, let's just like be who we are. I don't know. Like, let's just not try and fit into all of these molds. And like, let's not, I mean, I get that there's like safety involved in some ways, and I really do understand that. But at the same time, like, I don't know, just like be authentic. I don't understand why it's that hard. Anyway,
Yeah.
orange circle. This is an interesting circle because I think it's written for mostly for students with disabilities who have a hard time understanding that when you're older, you don't interact with children and like keeping both of them and children safe. So this is the orange wave circle. So they talk a lot about like if there's children in your community, like you just wave at them. You do not do any sort of like physical touch. You don't really talk about anything. You can just say hello, maybe your name, and that's it, but you don't play with other kids. And I think that's like really good, important information because again, keeps the student with disabilities safe, keeps kids safe, and just has that expectation laid out. But also like neighbors could go into this category of like you can say hello and like know that they're there, but I don't know, don't really rely on them.
I would also maybe include like safety people, like
They're in the
police
next
officers.
circle.
They're in the
Circle.
next
Circle.
circle.
For the next circle.
Okay,
But
so we're like not approaching at all, kind of thing.
what?
They're like it's like they're in the next circle, which is like not approaching at all. Like
Actually, it's very confusing.
oh, okay.
This is also my autism, where I'm just like, this doesn't make sense,
It
but I
doesn't
have to
fit
teach
here.
it, and this is what the curriculum is. So the next one is stranger circle, which means that they are strangers in community that you do trust when you need them.
Mm.
And you know that there are people that you can trust because they're in uniform. They usually will have like identity badges. So these can be mail carriers, these can be police officers, these can be bus drivers, where you know that they're like in community serving a purpose. And um, yeah, you don't touch them and they shouldn't fucking be touching you unless they need to. I have a lot of thoughts on that. But like if, for example, a dentist needs to put their hands in your mouth. I don't know why I chose that example of all examples. Um, or like a mail carrier hands you the mail and you're like, oh, have a nice day. Like it's not like you're not talking to them. Or if you're like at an emergency room and need to disclose information of like you're in pain or something. So stranger circle is outside of the wave circle because it's like you don't really interact with those people, but you know that you can trust them. It's a really weird autistic concept for me to grasp, but I get it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Stranger space is going to be the one where you don't talk to people at all.
Yeah.
We talk about that being majority of people in our world. Like we don't talk to majority of people in our world. We don't look at them. We don't stare. That's huge with my students. Or like disclose information. So yeah, that's the circles curriculum. So that's a way for like that's an intervention that we would use in social skills to show social boundaries because I do believe that there is like a huge safety component to that. Especially as these students are like going out into maybe living independently, making more independent decisions. For example, I would much rather be working on like functional communication and goals
Mhm.
rather than like, oh, let's have like a conversation about why eye contact's so important and you should count to three while you're having eye contact before you look away. And
Yeah.
oh my God, this just like unlocked a memory in one of my practicums. Holy shit, where I worked in an elementary school and I was working with a student who was non-speaking and he would come in and he also like wasn't using a device at this point. Um and like I hate this so much. But he'd come in and we would like play trains and every time he would give me eye contact, the SLP would literally like click a button. Like
Oh.
it was literally like dog training. It was
Oh.
disgusting.
Oh no.
So I don't know if that was like really bad practice or like what people normally do, but like it was really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Conditioning.
yeah,
Yeah. Really.
I hate it.
Really.
So that was all I had for today, except for
Oh yeah.
I think there are a couple of TikToks I had about, and you wanted to go back to,
Yeah, it actually connects really well with that because like what you're talking about now, it's kind of like how do we start? How do we make friends? How do we kind of like keep things going in that way?
yeah,
And part of that for me is I have like form of facial blindness where if I'm not like around someone physically regularly, they kind of like don't exist in my brain.
yeah,
Um, and so something that I've done to help compensate for that has been I put like a friend or social category on my to-do list. So I regularly have like my grocery list, my to-do list, long-term to-do things that are like down the road, and I have social so that I have to put something in that category to think like, okay, what have I not like done recently? Like have I not talked to this group of friends or have I,
yes,
not reached out to this person about hanging out or
yeah,
because yeah, just like it's just like gone in my head and all of a
yeah,
sudden it'll have been like a year and I'll be like, how has
yeah,
it been a year since I talked to this person that I
yep,
care so much about them, but they were
mm-hmm,
just not in my head at all.
mm-hmm.
So in the realm of like interventions for yourself, that's one thing that I've tried. Mm,
Absolutely. I actually have a similar list on my phone, which it does sound really weird, but I have like a list of friends
yeah.
because I also feel like I don't really remember who all my friends are. And I've actually gone through quite a bit of like reshuffling with friends as
Mm,
well. And I don't know, like, I think it's important. It's a weird, like, autistic thing, but it really helps me to stay in touch with people
yeah.
for sure. It has birthdays on there, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So it's like a personalized, I don't know what you would call it. It's really weird, but
No, I don't think it's weird at all. It's a compensation too for memory because I struggle with
yes.
memory very badly and
Yeah.
I feel immense guilt about it because I care so much about my friends, but
Yeah.
I can't remember
Yeah.
facts. I can't remember like how many siblings do people have and when's
Yes.
their birthday and where did they grow up and
Yeah.
things like this, like favorites of things, like things that
Totally.
you would think of as being normal, like things that show that you care about someone. And it makes me feel so much guilt for like it makes me feel like I'm a bad friend or like I don't care. I do so strongly and I just can't recall facts like that. Like I can't store and recall.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's just like a whole part of the masking and the socializing that we've talked about of like, yeah, it's so pushed in our society to know these things and like assign connection to these things when in reality, like, I wonder what friendship would look like if we just let ourselves forget those things. Like, we're not doing that because that is a societal expectation. If we
Yeah.
feel safer doing that, and at the same time, like I wonder if there would still be connection and what that would look like and if it would be as genuine or as important. Something that Gabby actually shared with me about, I don't know, 6 months ago or so, they were telling me a story. Wait, I forget how it came about, but I think halfway through they were like, "Oh, I remember I told you this a couple weeks ago." And I was like, "I don't remember this story. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry." And they were like,
I always tell people like just keep tell me again. Tell me 10
"Yeah."
times. I don't really care. Like
Well, what it said to me, like I literally have on a post-it at my house. It was they were like, "Feel like you care about me based on how much you remember about me or something like that, where like the level of care that you have for me isn't like reflected in how much you remember
Uh,
about like details about our
that,
friendship or
that would
whatever.
make me feel so like safe to know about something because it feels like that same like rule
Yeah.
of like knowing that someone may not text back because of this reason. It feels like the same thing where I don't
Yeah.
feel like I get that like acceptance or tolerance for
Yeah.
that part of myself very much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And I don't want it to be that way. Like I
I
also
know.
like very strongly want to remember those things so I can ask questions and like be present in the relationship and stuff.
I know.
But yeah.
It is just interesting, like taking out all of that, what would it look like? But I
Yeah.
don't know. And like, I don't know about you, but when I miss someone's birthday, I feel so like it actually makes me feel sick even
Mm.
thinking about it because I'm like, I I know that it's so important, but it's important because it's like a societal assignment
Well, and
of importance.
I wonder if it's also important because you feel strongly about your own birthday and like loving
Say
that
that I love
too.
it
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this episode.
So I wonder if that's also part of it too, that it's part of your value system that you're like, it's
Yeah.
important to me to celebrate me on my day, and it's important to me to celebrate others on their day, even if that gets
Mm.
missed. Like, yeah.
I love that. That's very true. Well,
Yeah. I had a couple of cute things that I found from Reddit's, if you
I love cute things.
so there was one post I was scrolling through posts about friendships and like struggles and like options and stuff like that. And this person posted, I found this from my journal from when I was 13.
Oh my God, I love these types of things.
Alyssa says it just says making friends under like ask questions, be funny,
Yep.
compliment them,
Yep.
give them a sun chip.
I love sun chips. I can't have them anymore, but man, do I love sun chips. Damn.
Listen, don't tell secrets, and be trustworthy. Don't lie.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty much
cute.
it.
Give them a sun chip just in the middle.
Absolutely. We would be best friends.
Deepest 13-year-old thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then there was another one that's like tips if we're at that point.
We can be.
Okay.
We can be at whatever point we want.
So this is someone that posted a TikTok that was about advice for making close friends as an autistic person. Their handle is Lucy JCA. I don't really know what their background is. All they have is a series of emojis on their description.
Interesting.
Queer flag, watermelon, fairy, sun, heart with the like broken heart wrap around it.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
They must be healing.
Must be.
Must be.
So yeah, this is their advice. This might be controversial, but aside from putting yourself out there in autistic or neurodivergent friendly spaces, that they don't really think there's many more things you can directly do to make close friends.
Oh.
Tips for like opening yourself to that. So in their experience with all their closer friends, most of whom are also neurodivergent, there's been some kind of like instant connection and ease, which ease is kind of what I was going for with what I was talking about in the first episode, was that if I feel like an ease with someone else and like a comfort instantly, I know that that like is somewhere to try to make a friend with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they said, so instead of asking myself, how can I make more friends? I feel like we should be asking, what can I do for myself to be in the best position to be open to and to develop close relationships. So some tips that they recommended for indirectly making friends was the first one was developing a strong sense of autistic identity and sense of identity as a whole.
Yep.
So this goes back to exactly what we were saying about you can only meet somebody where you've met yourself. And so really trying to know yourself and have sense of pride and confidence in where you're coming from.
Yep.
And then that will really open you up to more experiences because now you're open and presenting yourself to other people.
It's authentic.
Yeah, not that performance. To developing strong boundaries that you don't compromise to fit in. So
that's hard for me.
We start a relationship compromising boundaries, then we've already set an expectation that's incorrect, and then later setting those boundaries could break off that friendship or closeness. Working on letting go of perfectionism.
Hope.
Ooh.
Impossible.
Yeah, that's me.
That's me.
And that's also where a lot of my rejection sensitive dysphoria like comes into, is that feeling of like I wasn't perfect, so therefore they hate me.
Yeah.
And like that post
Yeah.
hangout like hangover is part of
Yes.
that, yeah, perfectionism and like expecting too much from myself.
Just like I get it because I like fall into the same thing and it's just like perfect isn't real, number
Mhm.
one. And like it's okay to show up messy. And I don't know, like it's also just overrated. So I think sometimes when I get into like perfectionist spirals, I'm just like, wait a minute, it's okay. Like we don't
Yeah,
need to be here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Never giving up or deprioritizing your special interests.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge.
You can't hide a big part of yourself. Well, Lauren early on told me that she loves Justin Bieber.
Oh my
And I was
God.
so thrown because she is like the cool kid, like
Skater girl.
like more like what I picture. Like she loves Paramore also, and that's what I picture her being into.
Right.
And then she was like, "Yeah, I love Justin Bieber," and I was like, "What?"
That's
Love it.
so endearing. I love that so much.
The next one was if you have a menstrual cycle, leaning into how that affects how you desire to connect to others and how you
Huge.
experience loneliness.
Yeah.
Also,
Huge.
yeah, that's something I feel like I still am not really totally there with, connecting to like phases of cycle.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Acknowledging and working through shame and trauma.
Hard to do.
Yeah. Work on accepting that you have a different social battery and probably enjoy socializing differently than allistic people.
That's that's been a really big lesson
Yeah.
for me.
That's also been a practice, like
Yeah.
you said, like between us, but then
Hmm.
also between like other relationships, is
Hmm.
learning to be able to say, like, hey, I know we had planned to go out after this other event that we went to, but this event took everything I had,
Yeah.
and I am not going to be able to give my full self
Yeah.
to that. Like, really being able to prioritize that more.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Remembering that life comes in seasons.
It sure does.
Definitely phases of wanting to have more social
Yeah.
time or wanting to have more quiet time, away time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, what I think of in that as well is like I I feel like as a friend, I am so quick to support others and so quick to like show up. And I think that something I've learned this last couple of years as I've navigated really hard times is just like letting people show up for me and letting friendship be that and like trusting that people will do that. I think has been huge.
Yeah.
Um,
Trust is, yeah, a big part of that.
yeah, and just allowing like the seasons of like, hey, I can't hold you right now, but like I've got to be held. Like I had one friend in particular where I like went over to her house once or twice a week because like I couldn't be alone. And like I'm sure that like by being there I brought something to her, but like really it was just her being a safe space for me. So I think just allowing that seasons change of friendship. And then like this summer she got married, so I was doing a lot of stuff for her. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, yeah.
And I think some of that comes back to recognizing the high empathy thing that we talked about last time too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of having such high empathy that you put everyone else's needs over yours all the time,
Yeah,
you've developed enough sense of yourself and your,
totally.
when you're putting that energy places, to be able to
Yes.
say, I have high empathy. I want to take care of my friends, but I also need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. And the last one that was on here was valuing all kinds of connections.
Yeah.
Like applying value to connections that are not necessarily going to be deeper down
Yeah.
the road, and like still seeing the value in acquaintances or in work friends or things like
Yes.
that.
Well, and I think that's something I've picked up hugely from actually the circles curriculum is like we're allowed to have like farther away relationships and we don't have to be close with everyone, which blew my mind because I was just like, wait, we don't have to like have the conversation about like this is such a poor example, but like my trauma that I experienced last week, I don't have to tell you about it. What? That's so great. I can hide that. I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to protect myself.
I think we learned a lot with that too on Brooke's episode, talking about relationships too, and being able to prioritize, a platonic romantic relationship or, like somebody that you spend more or less time with, and not, not necessarily hierarchying these things, but valuing for them what they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I really have I think this has been so much growth. Like this podcast in particular has been so much growth for learning about like different ways to have friendships, relationships with people, how it does come back to like that ADHD component and how like, wow, it's so nice to have people in common, like to have this in common with people because it has opened up worlds for me in terms of how to like relate to others and that like it's hard. But
Yes.
so
Yeah.
anyway,
oh, that was a beautiful place to end it if you're done with your part.
what do we say at the end? Oh my God, I'm
Be
blinking.
unapologetically used.
Oh yeah, find your joy. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go again, go again.
Be unapologetically you this week.
Find your joy.
And value all your friendships.
Oh, love.
I value you.
I value you so much. Oh, have you ever heard of this heart before? It's
No.
it's like K-pop heart.
Oh, that's the newest heart.
Yeah,
You
and
go
I
like
think
this?
Gen Z has taken over too, where it's
Oh.
like,
Okay, I
do
see.
you
Like
see it?
like the tip of your fingers is the heart. So we're moving on from the other one that I still can't do.
Oh my God, what is it? Like this?
Oh, that one, yeah.
My fingers don't work that way. Or there's this one. This is
The
like
original, the
tried and
OG
true.
heart. So now it's what was that?
So it's like your
Oh, your
pointer
thumb.
and thumb.
Making a little heart.
It's really cute,
It is
actually.
really cute.
Yeah, and it's easy to do. It's easy to be like,
It's much easier than this one.
I know.
I don't even know what's happening with my fingers to try to make this. There we go.
No, it's
there we go.
honestly so hard.
It's upside down. That's wait. No.
Oh,
I've
that's
done
a
that one
different
too.
one.
Yeah.
You've come up with the fourth generation. Like, what do you like that?
So upside down. I only did two fingers, but
This is hilarious. Love your friends, everyone.
okay.
Bye. Bloopity bloop bloop.
Bloopers. Oh, okay.
I'll just white knuckle my way through it as I do with lots of things. This is also school property, so I should probably like be a little bit more gentle with that.
Been that.
Thanks for joining us this week. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music.
Please like, subscribe, and leave us a review. We could use some of those. If you want to get pictures that go along with our episodes and follow along, join us on Instagram and TikTok.
Thanks, hotties.